Hello, it's Charles Fockaert, March 2nd, 2018. I welcome all of you as usual, and I thank you for supporting this channel in the many ways you do. As you could tell, maybe the wind is blowing like, I don't know what you would say. You know, it's not cats and dogs, but it's been blowing all night. And I'm getting a little used to it because it's been happening quite a bit, but hey, wow, lots going on. I want to talk about several things. One, the purge of YouTube. Two, what I think is going to happen here pretty soon. And we're going to talk about the money. And we're going to talk about how the people are going to react. And then number four, are you prepared? Are you prepared? So I'm going to take a break here for just a second, collect my thoughts, be right back. Don't go away, as they say. Okay, before we get to all that, I want to bring this up to get this out of the way. I talked in a video or two ago about how the cop gave me a hard time. He was abrupt and abusive and rude, and I called him on it, and I got this picture of the evidence, and I'm allowed to park where I was. So I went down and I handed it in, like I said, and I gave it to the dispatcher, and she told me that someone would get a hold of me. And I did get a phone call an hour or two later, but I didn't get the phone was in my truck or somewhere, and I didn't get the call, and he never called back. I figured, well, if the guy's going to call me back. And so he didn't call me back. I didn't hear from anybody. So I went back into town, and the office there is open until 4 p.m. It's on the door Monday through Friday until 4 p.m. So I get there 3 o'clock sharp, and I walk in, and I pull the door, and it's closed. It's locked. So I go, okay. And then I got to thinking about that. You know, this is what a lot of people don't get. And I tell you what, it's taken me quite a while to come to this point in my life where I see a closed door is just as important, maybe more so, than an open door. When I was younger, if that door wasn't open, I'd push it and I'd try to find a way around it, and I'd break it down and you know, go alpha male stuff. But you know what? Now I'm a little wiser. So I'm walking away from there, and I got to thinking about it last night and this morning. You know what? I think the Lord's telling me, Charles, you made your point. You know, you made your point with the guy, and he's too proud. He's not going to chase you down to kiss your ass and tell you he's sorry or anything. And you made the point with the lieutenant. So why don't you just drop it and go on? You know, pick your battles, folks, I guess is the point here. So as far as I'm concerned, this is over. I won. All right? And the next time somebody like him, or you know, the other thing is, I don't want to make an enemy out of the cops here in this little town. Because, okay, understand. Anyway, move on to the next point here. Okay, I did a check this morning, and there was a purge. And I got an alphabetical list here of the purge, and there's quite a few. There's 80 some on here, and I'm not going to read them all, but one's called Brave New World. Here's a few that I've listened to. Colin Flattery, Crow 777. He's done a lot of work on the moon. The moon is not a spear, folks. And I've learned quite a bit from Crow 77. Dr. Jerome Corsi, I don't follow him too much, but I know of him. Who else? Jim Mars, you may have heard of him. Let me see here. MGTOW is freedom. I've commented on the MGTOW, but based on what I saw at this fellow's place. I think he's wrong, because we Caucasian men, we're responsible for our women, no matter how effed up they are, how much of a Esau, Edomite they are between the ears, and no matter how much they screw us, okay, I think I have more reason to be a MGTOW man than most people, most men you'll meet, but I think he's wrong. But he got axed. Richie from Boston got axed, and I checked on that. He did get axed, and I'm going to mention him in particular, but I'm going to wait a minute. Russian vids, and anyway, there's 71 here that got the Purge. And I want to talk about Richie from Boston for a minute, because he's pretty popular, and he said that he hired an attorney, and he got back on, and he's going to stick with YouTube as long as he can, because he gives his reasons. And then I wish I could show you. I would show you what he said. He says, but eventually, he realizes he's going to have to leave. And that's what I'm saying. And I don't think Richie from Boston had the foresight to go to BitChute or one of these other options, other platforms where they use the BitTorrent. So there's not one single server. Do you understand that? YouTube can just turn the switch and you're gone. But BitChute, all the videos are on what they call a BitTorrent. So there's many other. The videos are stored, not in one location. All right. So I want to talk about now the what I think is in our future. Okay, these Esau Edomites, they're not stupid like that judeo-christians. They understand the Word of God better than these judeo-christians do. And they know there's no rapture. And they know what's coming, and we're going to look at that here at the end. 2 Thessalonians chapter 1. We're going to go take a look at that, but that's coming later. But I want to talk about, remember 2008 when they had the banking problem there, and Lehman Brothers went bye-bye. That was a, 125-year-old banking company or corporation, whatever. And then they had a problem with Bear Stearns. See, they haven't fixed anything yet. In fact, it's gotten worse. So 10 years ago, they were concerned that if they didn't bail out these big Esau Edomite banks who control our world. Remember Hank Paulson? Remember what he said? You'll have to talking to Congress, you'll have to institute martial law. Now, think about that for just a moment. 10 years later, things are what? 100 times worse, maybe? Okay, even if it's only 5 times worse. The zero interest rates, and you got all these other places you can go, and all these other men that spend all their day and all their time looking at the market and all that stuff. I'm not interested in that. I feel, and I'm not criticizing these people. When you have to make a living and you want, that's fine. I did it, but I don't have to do that anymore. Thank Yahweh. I can spend my time on other endeavors, and I can occupy my thoughts with what I think is more important things for me. And I'm trying to give you, those of you who don't have the time or don't have the background or don't have the insight or whatever, an understanding from my perspective and what I think is going to happen. And I've got videos out there that I put up a long time ago that this is going to collapse. It's already, they're pumping it up. They're holding it up. The Petro-dollar, the rest of the world is rejecting this. I saw this when I was in India, for example. I was in India several years ago, and they didn't accept U.S. currency. And I was in the Philippines, and I was at an exchange on El Nido, on Palawan, and there was a European lady there that ran the best shop in town. That's the way it usually is, folks. We Israelites, we go to a place like the Philippines, and we work and get an operation going. That is the best thing in town. Anyway, I had Korean won, and she wouldn't take Korean won. And I asked her why, and she says, we hate the Koreans. The Filipinos hate the Koreans, and I won't take their money. Okay? That's where we are now, folks. Most Americans think that, the rest of the world just thinks Americans are no. You got the wrong idea. I had to put a cover on my passport because I was embarrassed to be an American. Okay, I didn't want people to know I was an American when I was at the airport or hotel or wherever. Okay, so the United States is being and Israel, and that's important because of our joined at the hip with the Esau Edomites there in that little that sandbox in the Middle East. They're rejecting this. Our money. They're rejecting not our money. It's the Esau Edomites' money. Okay, this is being rejected. So that's the fiat currency that we use here in the United States. Now, if you don't get anything else out of this, understand that this is not going to be worth anything too much longer. And I'm surprised it's worth anything as long as it has been. We can still use this. Outside the country, not so much anymore. So all those rejected trillions of dollars, and who knows how much is out, they were printing pallets full of money, cash. And remember, what's his name there in Iraq? Mr. Brennan, I think his name was. I saw pictures there on the internet where they had pallets of $100 bills that they sent to that fella. He walked away, his payment for taking care of that initial operation there in Iraq with $10 billion they paid him. They just create the money. It costs them what, maybe a nickel to print this, 3 cents, and the rest of it's profit. So you got 97% profit, folks. Being able to create your own currency out of thin air is damn profitable. You and I got to go work our butts off to make a buck. They inflate it, and they get it for a couple cents on the dollar. Think about that, folks. If I know that, I'm not the brightest lumen in the LED light, but even I get that. So the Chinese get that, the Iranians get that, the Russians get it. People all around the world are rejecting this, and all those trillions of dollars are going to flood back in our country, and you're going to see hyperinflation. Okay, what I'm saying is when this fails, this is what you're going to want to have. Okay? This is the most undervalued asset on the level playing earth at this time. And I got people saying, well, what are you going to do with silver? What are you going to do? Blah, blah, blah. Gold is an intrinsic value. I tell you what, if I show up somewhere and I need some propane for my tank, and I got this, and the poo-poos hit the blades, and I got this or I got this, what do you think the guy with the propane tank's going to take? You think he's going to take this? Or do you think he might take a few of these? Okay? Get your hands on some real money, folks, because here's what's going to happen, I think. And I've been preparing for this for several years now. We're going to have chaos in this country like you've never seen before. That's what's coming. chaos. They want chaos. They can have chaos just over a weekend, folks, just like that. They can create chaos. And who's that Esau Edomite there in Chicago, that little queer Rahm Emanuel? Never let a good crisis go, what did he say? To waste. Never let a good crisis go to waste. Now, we got a couple of false flag ops here and there and everywhere. And what are they trying to do? They're trying to take away our right to defend ourselves. So what are you going to think? What do you think they're going to do when this fails and the EBT card fails, maybe on purpose, and the checks that you're supposed to get from Social Security aren't there? The money's not deposited in your account. What do you think's going to happen in this country? Chaos. Chaos. It reminds me of Maxwell Smart. Remember that? Forget that back in the 60s. Chaos. All right? They tell us ahead of time what they're doing. Okay. Now, let me pause here in a minute. Be right back. Okay. We got chaos because the money's going to fail. We got chaos. What's going to happen now? Okay, get this in your this is the mindset that I have, and I've acquired this over my entire lifetime. I used to think this a long time ago, but I didn't say anything because people would think I was arrogant and proud and all this stuff. But you know what? Most people are stupid. Most of the people around you are stupid. Yes, they have their job and they're good at it. They're accountants and architects and engineers, and they work in construction, and they know how to run their business. You can be competent, you can be educated, while at the same time you're stupid on the important things, on the practical things. You know, so when the chaos happens, the other thing is they are easily deceived. They're stupid and they're easily deceived. So what's going to happen? And remember, most of the people don't get their information off the internet. Oh, and that reminds me. Guess what they're going to do when there's when this fails? They're going to shut the internet down. They don't have to shut the whole thing down. All they got to do is say YouTube, all these channels, and they're already making a list. They had the list already, folks, and they knew who to cut. They're going to do that on Google. They're going to do that on the Gmail. They're going to do it Twitter. They're going to do it as many places as they possibly can. And then all the people are going to get is what they see on Fox News on TV, all the programming crap, or they go on the internet and they watch CNN on the internet. I see it all the time down here at the library. All these old people come in and they get on the internet and they watch Fox News and CNN and all that crap on the internet. Okay, so now we got chaos, we got stupid people, easily duped and deceived, who refuse to listen. They refuse. I got several videos where I've said I've talked to the leaders. I don't go to the guy on the bottom of the rung of the ladder. I go to the top. And I could tell you, I don't want to go over, all the way to the top, folks. I don't have a problem. I realize that these people at the top, they put their pants on one leg at a time, just like I do, and they're no more important, and they shouldn't be able to treat me any different than they would want me to treat them. So these people are going to refuse to listen. And I'm telling you, it's going to be unbelievable in this country when this happens, because we're now a third world country. United States is a third. I got several videos on that. Welcome to the third world, United States. Homelessness in Los Angeles, I just saw, is 58,000 people in Los Angeles. You never see that. Seattle, the Bay Area, they got children up there in Kalispell that are homeless. It's a big Missoula. I was there. They got a big problem in Missoula. All right. When this comes down, you're going to see homeless. They're passing laws now in Los Angeles where you can't even live in your RV. You can't sleep in your truck. They're making being poor illegal. All right. So that's another point. It's not on my list, but it bring it up. You're going to want to be mobile, I think. It's going to be to your advantage if you can move around. This is a big country. Our geographical area is pretty large here compared to most of the places I've been in the world. And it's not going to be bad all over the place. It's going to be bad in certain areas, like down there in Florida where they had the false flag, and maybe over here in Las Vegas. I wouldn't want to be here when the poo-poo hits the blaze, because I'm only a quarter of an eighth of a tank away from Las Vegas. And people that don't have come over here to find out. People that do have, I'm going to have to defend myself. So if that happens, I can pack her up, and in 2 hours I can be down the road. That's going to be an advantage, I think, because all I got to be able to do is get some fuel for my tank and keep the power going in the Honda. You see? Now, I'm not saying everybody's got to go do what I do, but I'm telling you, I feel a lot better being able to move around. We find out certain, and one more thing, I'm gonna put it in here. There's this talk about a group of Israelites, Christian identity people getting together in one place. And, nobody's asked me my opinion. Even though I'm a real estate developer, the people involved in this project, nobody said, hey, Charles, what do you think? Or, hey, Charles, you want to be involved in this? Or, hey, we want to get your idea. You know what? I don't think it's a good idea to all congregate in one little area like that and say, hey, we think the Esau Edomites are the cause of our problem, and we all live here in one little spot. Why don't you come and get us? Now, what you could do, and nobody's asked me, but what you could do is you could make yourself mobile, and then you could all meet somewhere in your mobile RV or trailer or motorhome or whatever. You could congregate and then decide what you're going to do from there. And I'm not saying that it's not a good idea, but I don't know if I would do it where these people want to do it. There's other, and I'm going to do a video on this. There's other places in the world to live besides the United States. Okay, I'm going to leave that, and let's get to the last part. I think I would suggest you want to be prepared as much as possible. For instance, I bought this book here at the used bookstore for a couple bucks, and I hope I never need it. And I've got another one back up there in Montana, which I'm going to grab. It's on how to do emergency surgery in the field. Now, I hope I never need that, but hey, I've learned a lot of things from books, folks. So if push comes to shove and the poo-poo hits the blades, I want to be prepared, and I'm prepared as much as I possibly can. All right? So I had a video out there suggesting you go 3 days, no power, no water, no electricity. Just come home one night on Friday night and say, okay, I'm not going to have power, I'm not going to have electricity, and I can't go to the bathroom like I normally do. And see how you do. Do it long enough, 2 days minimum, and then take notes. What do you have to do? What don't you have that you have to be prepared for that kind of an emergency? And then go get that stuff now so that you won't need to go looking for it later, because it won't be there. I promise you it will not be there, because everybody else is going to be out there looking for it. Oh, one more thing. They want to take away our weapons now, folks. Okay, when things are good. Things right now are calm before the storm, and they want to, Dick's Sporting Goods, and I sent them a chat message, and I sent them an email, and I told them I'm never going to buy anything there again. But you know what? They're not going to care, because most people are stupid, and they're still going to go support Dick's Sporting Goods. But what happens when the poo-poo hits the blades? Walmart, we're not selling any more guns. And all these other big, I can't think of the names of the other large chain sporting goods. No more ammunition, no more guns, because we've got to protect the children. And if even one life is saved, it's worth it. We really care about the children. Okay? That's what's coming, folks, in my opinion. Are you ready for it? I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Several people have contacted me to be included on the private YouTube videos I'm going to begin doing from now on. I hope that works. Last time I tried that didn't work, and I'm not sure why. But I'm also over at BitChute. Just BitChute in my name, and there's a search engine on the top of BitChute. You can type in my name, it'll come up. I got an email into Ray Vahey to see if all my videos are up there, or just I think he might have to, as the new ones come on, the old ones get dropped off. I'm not sure. I'm going to check on that. But anyway, please, some of you said you've gone over. I've got 100 subscribers at BitChute already. BitChute, I don't think will get cut off, folks. Oh, and another thing I want to mention, you can automatically post your video from YouTube onto Twitter, but you have to give Mr. Google you're okay. And I didn't want to do that, but I did that yesterday. I said, okay, you know what? So now my videos are going to get posted over there at Twitter at the same time. So you might want to go over to Twitter, because I may last longer at Twitter than I do on YouTube. And I don't know. Maybe I am a nobody, and I hope I am for your sake. Maybe I'm under the radar because I don't have the big, large subscriber base, but I think I will soon, because I look around me, and a lot of these people, even though they got a lot of subscribers, they don't know what to do. They're not getting prepared, and more importantly, they're not connected. They don't look at the Word of God for a leading. All right? And 80 million judeo-christians in this country, folks. People that are basically stupid, and they think when everything happens, when the poo-poo hits the blades, they're going to fly away with Jesus. Think about that for a minute. May the grace of God our Father, the God of the Israelites, Yahweh is his name. May the Israelites folk is a Caucasian race. And if you don't get it, that we're at war with the Esau Edomites. The Caucasian race is at a war with the Esau Edomites, and they're trying to take away our right to defend ourselves against them. May his grace be upon us all, for we most certainly need it. See ya.